Morning everyone, Coach Shimnick here, and today I want to do a little video for the coaches. This one is about training your football players. Now, I hear a lot of my guys come in as either they train at their high school and they come here to supplement that training, or they just train here. And I hear a lot of different styles of training for high school athletes, and I recognize that certain coaches will do things certain ways, but I want to give you guys something that has been very successful for me. I've been doing this, I've been training, this is my 9th year, so I mean, I've had a lot of time to develop this, and I've seen what works over that time. And this is just, it's simple, it's effective, it's asking you to know about 6 to 8 lifts, so it doesn't put a lot of strain on the coaches. You can keep things safe because you don't have to try to teach 100 different things, and it just gets your athletes through very quickly. So, we look at it 3-day program, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we look at 9 weeks. That's typically the first or second week of June until the second week of August. It's about 9 weeks. Take out a week for July 4th because everybody's always gone. And then you have your non-contact week that you can miss. But it's about 9 weeks. The way I build this is we have an acceleration day. We have a body armor day. No, I did not make that up. I stole that from somebody. I can't remember who. Sorry. And we've got a speed or multi-direction change direction day. On our day 1 acceleration, we have our main lift accessory conditioning on each day. Day 1, our main lift is the deadlift. Big hip strength, a lot of acceleration comes from the hips. So we want to build that strength. You'll notice it is not power clean. Remember, Olympic lifting, we don't want to train a sport with a sport. A power clean is a display of strength. A deadlift builds strength. We always want to build strength. We want to display strength on the field. We don't really care about it in the weight room. So we want to build strength in the weight room. Deadlifts build strength. Alright? Rep schemes. Weeks 1 through 3, 5x5. 4 through 6, 5x5. 7 through 9, 5x3. 5x3 lets you use a little bit heavier weight. You know, reps are a little lighter. And in our 5x5s before that, they will have done a couple hundred deadlifts that they should be ready to go to that heavier weight. Okay? Our accessory lifts with that, you know, a lot of high school guys, when they see accessory lifts, they're thinking bicep curls, they're thinking stuff they can do in front of the mirror. We don't want to work on that. We want to work on stuff that's behind you. Always work the muscles that you can't see in your accessory lifts because that's where a lot of your power comes from. Alright, we're going to start with chin-ups. With chin-ups, I don't like to give them sets and reps. I just want to give them a total rep goal. Some guys might see 30 total chin-ups and look at it like, I can do 30 chin-ups in a row. Good. Do them, get out of the way so that more guys can use your bar. Some guys might look at that as 15 sets of 2. You know what? That's still 30. They're still building that upper back strength, so that still works for me. Any way you want to slice it, I just want 30 chin-ups. Okay? Also, glute ham raise. We want something that directly works their hamstrings. Again, power plant is on the back of the body, so we want the stuff that's going to make them go fast. If you do not have glute ham raises, you can do a Nordic hamstring curl, where a guy's down in push-up position, hamstring curl out of that. Or you can do furniture sliders in the hallway. You just got to use your imagination somewhere, hit the hamstrings. With that, we're going to run accelerators for conditioning. Accelerators are accelerate 0 through 20 yards, full speed 20 to 40, or we're going to run 20-yard sprints, 20-yard max effort sprints. We want to make sure that they're walking back to the starting line every time they do this so that they can get their heart rate back down. I always tell them I want them breathing through their nose before they start running again. Alright, that's how we build speed. We want that rest. I'll go over that a little bit later. Day 2, our body armor day, we've got bench, incline, or overhead press. You know, in a perfect world, I'd get all the guys to overhead press, but high school guys love the bench, so you got to make a concession here or there. You can do them both. You can alternate week to week. 5x8, 5x5, 5x3 is my rep scheme on that one. Again, we want to give them a chance to perfect the lift before we go really heavy with it. Accessories with that, we've got our rows and we've got our abs. Rows can be single arm rows, 2-arm rows, seated rows, just something where you're pulling towards your body. 4 sets of 12. And then abs, we want quality, not quantity. Remember, abs are a muscle too. In order to get that muscle strong, we have to use weight with it. We don't want that butt sticking out. We don't want that rolled back during our planks. You know, we want to make sure stuff is quality. With our body armor, our conditioning is going to be loaded carries. Loaded carries can be a farmer's walk, which is you're holding weight here, an overhead carry, holding stuff over your head, or a rack position carry, which is right here. I'll use kettlebells for that. I'll use dumbbells. You can use a plate. Just anything you can carry for either time or distance. This gets them ready for impact. This gets them ready to hit. All right, that's very important. It teaches them how to brace their body for impact. All right, day 3 is a full speed day or a multi-direction change direction day. On this day, we want to do counter movement lifts. So counter movement is anything where they are countering a movement to their body. Think like squat, lunge, even a bench press is actually a counter movement too. But we do that on our body armor day. Speed or multi-direction, we front squat or back squat. I do not overhead squat mainly because athletes now do not have the posture to do it correctly. And with all the shoulder injuries we see and everything, overhead squats are just not worth it for me. I want them to do stuff, 1, that they can do, and 2, that they can do right. I prefer not to overhead squat because it doesn't work. It's too hard to teach. If we're trying to get 150 athletes through our weight room, we have to be efficient with how we choose our lifts. With that, if I was going to do one accessory lift from here on out, it would probably be split squats. I think this is the one that I've seen the most change in a lot of my athletes from. If you think about carryover to the field, this is probably the biggest carryover that you can get out of a accessory lift. We don't have it as a main lift because I don't look at it as a main lift. I think but it's my #1 accessory lift. And again, we want to build that upper back strength with our chin-ups and pull-ups. With our multi-direction, change direction, or full speed day on our conditioning, we will either do slightly longer sprints or we will do change direction, multi-direction. With your slightly longer sprints, you want to vary distance based upon position. Okay, a long sprint for a lineman is not the same as a long sprint for a receiver or D-back. Okay, so make sure you understand the demands of the athlete's position before you ask a lineman to sprint 100 yards, because he might do that once in his entire career, and it better be to celebrate a touchdown. Okay, so we don't do that with our linemen. We want to go shorter sprints for the linemen, longer sprints for the D-backs, but still we want to get that full rest before it's time to sprint again, because we're building speed. We're not trying to do conditioning. Football is about short bursts. We don't want to run these guys into the ground, anything like that. Our change direction, multi-direction, it's pretty self-explanatory. Anything to get these guys change direction or move in multiple directions. What I like doing with this is I like getting the athletes to react to a stimulus. So that will either be me pointing, it'll be me yelling out, I'll set up different color cones and say blue, red, yellow, or they can react to each other when we do this. One of the things I love doing with the guys is we'll set up 3 cones in the 3-cone drill, 5-10-5 shuttle, and have one guy lead the drill and have the other guy try to shadow him the whole time. You'd think we were giving out the Lombardi Trophy after that when it's done, because it gets pretty heated when the guys do this. So that is a pretty simple skeleton of what I do when I lift with my high school guys. This bottom part here, remember that if you're trying to build speed, and I should have wrote strength there too, if you're trying to build speed or strength, your guys need to rest between sets. You can't turn everything into conditioning, because conditioning has its place, but it doesn't have its place when we're trying to build strength. We need to build this by resting in between each set. A 5x5 or a 5x8, 5x7, that should take a guy a good 15 to 20 minutes. You need to rest 2 to 3 minutes in between each set so that guys can mentally recover. Guys can physically recover. They can get their cardiovascular system back down so that they can attack that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th set. If you're trying to bang out all these sets back to back to back, you're not going to get quality reps. You're not going to build that strength that we want to build. Safe conditioning. Conditioning can be built in your 2-a-days. Save it for then. We want to build speed and strength over the summer. It takes a lot more time to build strength and speed in an athlete than it does to get them in shape. So focus on this. Remember, less is more. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 7, 8 different lifts through the summer. It doesn't have to be so complicated. Simple is what works. Simple is what gets you better every day.